Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, Destiny 2's 10th season has just rolled into town roughly 2 weeks ago, and whenever the new season's released, the first thing I usually do is complete the ritual weapon quest. Now there's always been a curated role weapon unlocked via quests for PvP, PvE/strike activities, and gambits since season 5. And I use the terminology curated role weapon instead of pinnacle or ritual weapon because pinnacle weapons were eventually discontinued and ritual weapons took their place. Now I've uploaded what seems like 20 different videos talking about the same topic, so I'll provide some links in the description box. But anyways, while we're on the subject of discontinuing weapons, I felt that it made some sense to bring up a very likely possibility. So I said that I usually complete the weapon quest first before anything else in the season. Well, in season 10, we only have one ritual weapon quest in the form of the point of the Stag bow, which is available via Iron Banner. Okay. Iron Banner has a ritual weapon quest, which is cool, but that's literally the only one in season 10. And it's probably safe for me to speak for everybody when I say that based on how lackluster ritual weapons are, for the exception of Randy's throwing knife and Python in my opinion, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing if Bungie stopped making them as a whole. Now, I'm not saying this is what I want to happen, nor am I saying that this would be a good decision, but there are multiple things that you have to realize. For one, ritual weapons took the place of pinnacle weapons despite paling in comparison in regards to power and overall appeal. Usually, whenever somebody completes a ritual weapon quest, they don't ever use that weapon again. And I understand why, because for the most part, the ritual weapons that we've had so far aren't really anything special. Now, I excluded Randy's throwing knife and Python because these weapons come closest to what pinnacle weapons were capable of doing and are able to perform such a feat without having unique perks of their own. As of presently, Python is the only shotgun in the game with the overflow perk, which is amazing because after picking up special or heavy ammo, Python's magazine doubles from 5 to 10, enabling it to take perfect advantage of the aggressive frame intrinsic perk, which increases its rate of fire after each kill. Other aggressive frame shotguns struggle with this because by the time you're able to max out the rate of fire, you're either reloading or going out of your way to kill something to maintain the buff. Now honestly, it would be really nice to have a timer on the side of the screen, but I digress. Randy's throwing knife is the only kinetic 260 RPM scout rifle in the game, and it comes with rapid hit and kill clip, which are two perks that not only have a ton of synergy, they work incredibly well on a weapon in this particular archetype. The reason why these two weapons are obvious outliers compared to the other ritual weapons is because they have a perk or perks that work incredibly well and might give you the same sensation that you felt when you used the pinnacle weapon for the first time. But the other ritual weapons just aren't anything special. Now I would have liked Edgewise a lot if it wasn't a 900 RPM LMG, which is an archetype that I've never cared for. But if it were a 450 RPM LMG, for example, I would have never taken it out of my heavy slot, probably due to the fact that there's only one solar 450 RPM LMG in Destiny 2 in the form of the Avalanche, but Avalanche is only available during the Christmas event known as the Dawning. Now these weapons had a few purposes, and one of them wasn't to be overly powerful. These weapons were designed to alleviate the annoyance of horrible RNG by giving you a weapon that's good from Jump Street, as opposed to grinding for a weapon with a particular perk set that you might have been looking for. Also, ritual weapons are pretty good for new players who don't have a huge arsenal of weapons yet, but whether you're lacking in weapons or looking for a particular role, most if not everybody would use a ritual weapon for a short amount of time before replacing it with something else. Now, pinnacle weapons left behind some pretty big shoes to fill, and ritual weapons have little feet. And if it already hasn't been obvious, it seems that Bungie is beginning to run out of ideas or lose interest in creating new ritual weapons. I mean, it makes sense because there's only so many different weapons and archetypes that can be used. Pinnacle weapons stopped releasing not only because they were so powerful, but because there was eventually going to be a point in time where Bungie would have ran out of ideas for unique perks. And I understand that because if you're going to release 3 weapons every season with unique perks that aren't exotic, you have to be seriously on point, and that sounds like more trouble than what it's worth. To this day, there's never been a pinnacle or ritual sword, and I can see something like this finding its way into the game before Bungie announces that they are no longer going to make ritual weapons anymore, especially due to the fact that swords have been slightly changed in season 10, so I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up happening. Maybe the ritual sword would be earned through trials or something, maybe not, but we'll just have to see. If Bungie doesn't decide to kill off ritual weapons, they'll probably continue with the trend of releasing one ritual weapon per season, which would be a whole lot easier and a lot less stressful for Bungie as a whole, because they will only have to worry about creating one weapon per season instead of 3, and we might get better ritual weapons as a result. There's no point in releasing 3 brand new curated role legendary weapons that might not see any type of playtime, or if 1 or 2 of them will ever get used, i.e. Randy's throwing knife and Python that we spoke of previously. Alright everybody, that does it for this one. In the comment section, tell me if you're for or against the possibility of ritual weapons being discontinued. If you enjoyed this video and made it to the end, go ahead and thumb wrestle that like button until it turns blue. And if you're new to my neck of the woods, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so you don't ever miss a video of the most elite gaming content. But with that being stated, 1LHD is over and out. Y'all take it easy.